and now here on Double X 1090. Jim, thank you very much. Darren Smith, appreciate a couple minutes.
Darren, no problem. Great to be on.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I wonder, how would you describe the mood at San Diego State today?
I think it's optimistic, excited about the future. I think we were really lucky in the fact that we had someone with Rocky's experience and passion and credibility to elevate, and I explored that early on as things looked like something might happen way back in December, and just wanted to be prepared for if there was a change. And we didn't find out till about 11:30 yesterday, but we were prepared for a move, and Rocky's ready to roll.
How did you find out?
Brady gave me a call.
Okay, and was that somewhat the understanding?
Yes. Yeah, that he would let me know if they had offered and they were going to make some announcement at 1 o'clock our time yesterday.
Are you? How do you feel about the way everything went down? I can tell you our coaching staff met Monday morning, went over recruiting with Brady, and everything was full steam ahead. So I think no one knew what was going to happen. So I don't know. Everyone feels like we weren't informed, or it was a moving target, I think, and I don't think Michigan knew what they were doing until the last minute. So I think. Brady certainly didn't, but obviously he was interested in that, and something he looked to do. I told him, be careful what you wish for, because it's a different place that way, but I think we're in great shape. I can tell you. Our players, alumni and supporters are very happy, and Rocky. I spent a couple hours with him over the weekend just to make sure in what direction I thought we were going, and if something occurred, and I was excited if there was a change, and to be that way and know that I had to go through press conferences and all that stuff and get things done. It takes a lot, but I can tell you that Rocky is very good at what he does. He was a big part of what our success the past year and the turnaround at San Diego State. And he's very excited about the future and being here on a long-term basis. We're talking to Jim Sterk, athletic director at San Diego State. About 90 minutes or so ago, they introduced Rocky Long as the 18th head coach in San Diego State football history. I've had Aztec fans and alumni tell me that listen, we understood Brady, and this was his dream job, and we all knew what we were getting into. Is there anything protocol-wise that Michigan did wrong in all of this, or anything that you wish they had handled better?
I think if they were going to make a change, obviously earlier is better. But they wanted to wait till after their game, and then I thought they were going to do something. But then, to 12 days later to take that long, it just complicates things. But we were fortunate in the fact that we had somebody here. If not here, then it would have taken weeks, and then you put your back in recruiting and all of that. And they're taking some hits from that standpoint of because they waited so long. We had a great class lined up and commitments in place, and we wanted to continue with that. And so it was important to do it fast, given the timeline, but also to have the right guy that's leading the charge.
Well, was it weird to have Brady Hoke out there recruiting last week on behalf of San Diego State University when he was still a live wire candidate for this job?
Yeah, he was. I don't think I thought he was a safety candidate for them. If something didn't turn out with two or three others, that they would go to him, and so it looked like that happened. But for us, I think he was doing his job, and I know our coaches felt that way. Brian Sipe was out with him locally recruiting, and they had great conversations. And at that time last week, Michigan hadn't interviewed him, so it wasn't that far along. So things happened pretty quickly. since this past Friday till now. So a lot of things have changed.
Were you ever concerned that Brady Hoke is out there recruiting on San Diego State's dime for Michigan?
I wasn't, because I didn't think in the end that he was the one that they were going to hire until about when I saw Les Miles staying at LSU. Then I thought Brady could be the guy.
Okay, so yesterday morning you wake up and you find out Les Miles is staying, and you go, uh-oh.
Yeah, I felt like, and obviously I was prepared for the other, but I thought in the end that the look like that they were heading in that direction. And Les Miles, the information I had received that he wanted the job. So that's I thought he was going to take it.
Well, that's interesting on a couple different levels. Jim Sterk here on XX1090. You mentioned you started talking to Rocky Long, I think you said back in December, about this possibility.
Yes, I did, just to see, whether if we had an opening, if he was interested in being a head coach, and he said, he was flattered and he was very interested. Little known fact, back in '06, I think he even while going to bowls at New Mexico, was interested in this job. So he's somebody he's a California guy, has looked at this place and the potential at this place, and is very excited about the future of this place.
In December, was it Rocky Long and Rocky Long only, or was there anybody else who you checked out?
Just as far as talking to, I just talked to Rocky, and really we really just sat down in the last 3 or 4 days, to talk at length. I just wanted to find out if he was serious about it earlier, and then if I needed to go to him, and then it started to head in that direction. I felt like I needed to meet with him, and we did, and I in the meantime I talked to a lot of people, obviously the president and everyone at the university, and what direction I felt like we were going to go, and then tried to do my homework on him, and then also just, is there someone else out there? But Rocky Long's experience, I think 7 of his last 8 years at New Mexico, he was bowl eligible. The 15 years prior to him, they had 3 winning seasons. So heck of a coach. Obviously, he made a difference on our team and our program the last 2 years, and I think he's going to have a huge impact and success in the future.
How did he convince you that he wanted to be a head coach again? Because if you go back in time when he leaves New Mexico, and who knows what his emotions are at the time, he certainly gave off some quotes that I'm sure you've come across. It doesn't seem like he wanted to be a head coach when he left New Mexico. So how does he convince you that he wants to be a head coach today?
Well, I think, part of it is how he left. He had been there 10 years and had great success, and then there was a change of ADs, and someone wanted to go in another direction, and he's not someone, if you don't want him, then he's not going to stay around. And so that's kind of how that ended. And as far as I've watched him. I've known him for a while. His daughter was a volleyball player at Portland State when I was the AD there, and so I've watched his career, kept track of it. Actually, our teams at Washington State played against him 2 years, and I've watched his career grow and his success, and so I wanted to find out from him, does he have the passion and desire to be a head coach again? And he convinced me he did. And if you talk with him very long, or you could see it on the press conference, he is a coach, and he loves coaching kids and loves the excitement of it, and loves the strategy and all that. So he also convinced me. He said, Jim, we can be the next TCU in this league. And with that kind of drive and experience and passion all together, I felt like we had the right guy.
With the right guy, I mean, did you hire Rocky Long, or did you hire the idea of continuity?
I think that helps, but I hired Rocky Long more from his experience, but also his experience as a defensive coordinator and transforming our defense into one of the from 100 and whatever or 200th to about top 40 in the country. So he's transformed and made our team tougher on the defensive side, and I think he can do that with our entire program.
I could, Jim, and I appreciate this, but I could read you some of these quotes from his time when he leaves New Mexico,
right.
And I'm sure you've come across him about how he said, New Mexico needs a flashier recruiter to keep up with the powers in the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
Has he changed on? Did you ask him about that?
Yeah, I think he I think he was trying to separate and trying to give his alma mater, an opportunity to go out and be positive. He's a guy, like I said, if you don't want him, then he's not going to hang around. And so I think that was his separation there. I think you sit with him, or you watch his team play, his defense play. The kids play hard for him. And he does a heck of a job that way, and he's energetic. And I think those are things that you need in recruiting. And obviously, as he said, you always have guys in your staff that the kids can relate to more than the head coach, and that's fine. But they have to respect the head coach, and they have to believe in the head coach. And I think we have that person to be able to do that.
Have you had any reaction from your alumni or any of your boosters about this hire?
Yeah, it's been. I have not had one negative thing about him. It's been all positive. Since December, I've been, kind of talking to people, especially our directors cabinet folks, some of those folks that support the program, and everyone from the Ron Fowlers to others that voice an opinion. But he has great respect, and people, they remember that he beat us 70 to something 2 years ago when he had a 4-8 team. The only year where in the last 8 years of his team wasn't bowl eligible. So they want to win. I think they believe he can help us do that.
If this were a popularity contest, Jim, the fans seem to think that Herm Edwards would have been a great coach. I got to ask you, did you ever at least reach out or contact or put a feeler out there for Herm Edwards?
No, but I know Herm Edwards. I've met him last spring here, but if you look at the comparisons of someone that's been a head coach in the success of a program, obviously Herm has had a great run and has been an NFL coach and all, but to have someone that's worked with these kids the last 2 years and has been a head coach, and 7 of his 8 years he was bowl eligible at New Mexico, I think that's someone that, if Rocky wasn't going to, or I didn't have somebody like that, obviously Herm is someone you want to talk to.
Could you put into words saying this is a pretty important hire? And I know every hire is important, but especially having a little bit of momentum for the first time in over a decade. How important of a hire is this?
I said in the press conference, it's a very important hire, not only just for this year and not to have a quick fix, but for the long term. We have great momentum. We have financial support that's coming, stepping up. We have more people interested in our program and buying tickets, and basketball is obviously continuing to that, continuing where football started and taking it to a whole nother level. But it's a very, very important hire for us, and I think to turn it over to somebody like Rocky is the right thing to do, and the president felt that way, and our supporters felt that way. So I think it's time will only tell. Obviously, in the press conference, he's right. Our foundation isn't cured yet, and it's not hardened, and so there's work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done on all sides, from the student athletes to the coaches to the staffing to the university to the alumni to the friends. This is going to take a community to continue to build this thing, and no one can do it by themselves. And Rocky's going to need a lot of help from other people too.
Does Rocky Long have a a job that he wants, a lifelong fantasy job that he wants, like Brady Hoke?
This is it. And he said in the press conference he wants this to be his last job. And he'd like to coach 10 or 15 more years, and he wants he made some joke reference to Joe Paterno, but he wouldn't be that old when in 10 or 15 years. But he wants to coach the way he coaches, and that's being active and involved with the team. And when he can't do that any longer, then he'll be done. But I think we have a great one.
Is there anything you think that the program can do to get out of the reputation of being a stepping stone job?
The continuity, and I think that's what that Rocky can do for us. It's not like if you know him, he's out working out at 6 a.m. with our strength coaches and our kids, and so he's someone that's puts in a lot of time and energy into his work, and also I think he can still bench press 400 pounds or something like that.
He's 60 years old, he can still bench press, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to mess with him, Darren. So when he comes on, just be nice to him.
Well, you got it on that front. By the way, big basketball game coming up tonight as well.
Oh, it's huge. It's going to be exciting there tonight, and we're going to announce Rocky there at halftime. But I'll tell you, Coach Fisher has just done a great job, and you talk about a team player and someone that's very, very good and built the program over time, and he's really, it's fun to see him have that kind of success.
Jim, appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll see you later on tonight up at the game.
All right. Thanks, Darren.